Essay in shock. SAPS in tears after arresting this illegal Mozambiquan, and what they found shocked Essay. Hello guys, and welcome to another shocking video. A young man, just 25 years old, is caught in the heart of Johannesburg with 150 stolen iPhones. Not one, not 10, but 150. He's not even from South Africa, and he's been living in the country illegally. What the police found during this arrest didn't just shock them, it sent waves across the entire nation. This is more than just a story about stolen phones. It's about crime, illegal networks, and a truth so big, South Africa can no longer ignore it. The sun sets over the sprawling city of Johannesburg as we open on flashing blue lights and a convoy of police vehicles. A 25-year-old Mozambican national has been arrested by the Johannesburg Metropolitan Police Division after being found in possession of an astonishing 150 stolen iPhones. This isn't just a headline, it's a vivid glimpse inside a deeper issue that touches on crime, borders, and the complex networks fueling an underground economy. What exactly happened, why it matters, and what it means for public safety. Today, we unpack it all. Let's rewind. Johannesburg, a city of vibrant energy and opportunity, has for decades struggled with crime. Since the end of apartheid, it's become a magnet for migrants across southern Africa. Immigration flows from neighboring countries like Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and Lesotho bring labor, ambition, and hope. But they also raise questions about legal status, policing, and safety. Many migrants arrive undocumented, navigating informal jobs and precarious living conditions. But before we continue, I'd like to encourage you to kindly subscribe, turn on the post notification bell to stay updated as we bring you recent happenings from the heart of South Africa. Against this backdrop, gangs have long exploited vulnerability. In the early 2000s, smash-and-grab syndicates targeting high-end electronics began to emerge. As smartphones soared in popularity, so did their value on the black market. In 2010, police reports started noting the theft of iPhones and Samsung devices. By the mid-2010s, organized cells had formed, networks moving stolen phones from affluent suburbs to backstreet chop shops and onward into gray markets across Africa and even Asia. Fast forward to 2025. Police crackdowns have intensified, but criminal enterprises have adapted, using migrants as couriers or operators exactly because their residency status makes them less visible to authorities. That's where today's arrest fits in. A Mozambican national living unlawfully in Johannesburg was detained with a staggering 150 stolen iPhones, likely collected from fast-paced robberies or facilitated theft rings. Let's pause here and consider the human side. This individual, still young at 25, may have been drawn into crime by necessity, limited legal opportunities, economic desperation, or coercion by gangs. At the same time, he represents a link in a more extensive supply chain, one feeding a latent demand for cheap, high-end tech. For every iPhone sold secondhand for a low price in informal markets, someone else lost theirs, and someone else pulled the trigger. Now, let's explore perspectives. From the law enforcement angle, the arrest is a vindication of strategic operations aimed at the root of organized crime. Criminal intelligence units in Johannesburg have stepped up surveillance, sting operations, and cross-border coordination. For these agencies, this arrest is more than a seizure, it's a message. Stolen goods trafficking won't be tolerated, and undocumented criminals will be pursued. Communities might respond in different ways. Some welcome the action, saying it increases safety and deters street crime. Others fear it could fuel xenophobia. Unease towards migrants often escalates when one is linked to crime, even if individuals, not groups, are at fault. Still, many activists emphasize that the real target should be criminal organizations, not vulnerable migrants, and they call for fair treatment and due process. Media coverage so far has centered on the shock factor: 150 iPhones. Headlines don't always mention the broader context, how this arrest fits into a wider crackdown on mobile phone theft rings that have cost consumers millions in losses. They rarely highlight the policies that constrain legal opportunities for migrants, pushing some towards illicit activities. On the ground, new developments are unfolding. Just last month, Johannesburg's police chief announced collaboration with Mozambique's authorities to track phone-snatching networks that cross borders. International cooperation, digital forensics, and trace and track tools are being deployed. Forensic units can trace serial numbers, match IMEI numbers, and block stolen phones. Some telecoms now work with law enforcement to alert customers when phones registered to them appear on resale markets. Yet challenges remain. Criminal networks evolve with technology. Virtual currencies and encrypted communication apps make transactions harder to trace. Migrants remain excluded from formal employment due to documentation barriers. Without pathways to legal status or job training, the cycle may continue. Let's zoom out. What does this arrest tell us about the current state of affairs in Johannesburg and wider South Africa? 1. Policing is modernizing, embracing tech, forensics, and transnational collaboration. 2. The underground market for stolen goods remains lucrative and resilient. 3. Migration policy and social support systems still lag, leaving gaps that both crime groups and vulnerable individuals exploit. Looking ahead, we can imagine a few scenarios. In a best-case future, South Africa strengthens legal pathways for migrants, combining that with smart policing and community outreach. Forged partnerships with Mozambique and regional neighbors crack criminal rings while protecting human rights. Tech firms ramp up anti-theft measures, making stolen devices useless and reducing demand. Worst case, if migration remains heavily restricted and policing stays reactive, criminals will coerce or recruit migrants, fueling a vicious spiral of crime and xenophobia. Innovation in forensics may be outpaced by privacy-focused communication networks. Informal markets may remain vibrant, undermining economic stability. So, what can be done? First, more robust migrant integration programs, work permits, vocational training, fair labor policies. Second, continuing and expanding tech-enabled policing, IMEI tracking, blockchain registers for device ownership, and telecom industry transparency. Third, investing in crime prevention in vulnerable communities through education and youth programs. Today's arrest serves as a cautionary tale, a snapshot of the tangled nexus between migration, poverty, and organized crime. It's a call to action for policymakers, law enforcement, and communities alike to treat crime as a systemic challenge, not just a legal problem. Thanks for following this detailed journey with me. If you found this breakdown illuminating, please subscribe for more deep dive analyses and share your perspective in the comments below. How do you think South Africa should balance policing, migration, and social support? Let's keep the conversation going.